Welcome to the Nevis Newscast for Wednesday, January 31st, 2018. I'm Fredicia Liburd. The Nevis Island administration is committed to playing its part to elevate the office of the Leader of the Opposition. So noted the acting Deputy Governor General, Her Honor Marjorie Morton, when she delivered the NIA throne speech on the occasion of the first session of the new Parliament.
My government has already made provision to provide a fully furnished office for the Leader of the Opposition. In addition, we have committed to providing resources in our budget for the upkeep of that office, along with monthly administrative support. This is a first in the Federation, and my government must be commended for this.
The throne speech also noted that parliamentarians must be held at a higher standard of accountability than the ordinary citizens, stating that this rhetoric must become law.
My government in this new dispensation shall speedily operationalize integrity in public life legislation and pass freedom of information legislation to ensure that those whom we have elected to serve us remember and remain true to their purpose and their oaths. We shall ensure that we move forward on these two fronts within the first 6 months of this term.
Meantime, as also noted in the throne speech, with increasing demands to attend to public business and with more diverse communities and increasing population, it must be a priority of the Nevis Island Assembly to institute electoral reform.
In this new dispensation, my government shall commence the process to increase the number of constituencies to 7 for the Nevis Island Assembly elections. This will allow your government to better deal with the increasing demands of modern governance. We expect that this process will demand widespread consultation with the opposition and with all stakeholders. But we believe that greater and more effective representation can be achieved by an electoral map and more properly reflects the demands of modern governance.
Acting Deputy Governor General Her Honor Marjorie Morton delivering the Nevis Island Administration throne speech on the occasion of the first session of the new Parliament on Tuesday, January 30th. Today, Wednesday, January 31st, the International Council of Monuments and Sites, in partnership with the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization UNESCO, held discussions with cabinet members of the Nevis Island Administration to begin the process in forming Charlestown into a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Chief of UNESCO's Regional Cultural Office, Herman van Hoff, spoke about the basic criteria to achieve the inscription of a World Heritage Site.
You have to be very committed. We have seen the commitment very much in the Nevis committee. And you have to be committed on the long term, because you have to prepare for World Heritage listing. And after, once a site is inscribed on the World Heritage list, you have to comply with the provisions of the World Heritage Convention, preserve the property in the ways it's been defined at the international level. There are international standards for conservation and management. But before you can achieve the inscription of a site on the World Heritage List, you have to meet a great number of criteria. I'm sure that you know that the site has to be of outstanding universal value. That's something that the site has or it doesn't. But it also depends on the narrative that you are presenting to the World Heritage Committee.
Daniel Young, the Council's specialist, expressed his contentment to see the government officials present and involved in the discussions.
It's very encouraging for us to see how seriously you guys are taking this. I should say that. I've been involved in various missions. Every mission is like it's like giving birth to something. You know, it requires sacrifice, effort, commitment, long time commitment. It's like getting married in a way. You know, and I always say this. You know, marriage is just not what happens on the wedding night, but everything that comes after that. So I will say that I am very impressed. You know, based on all of these official meetings, it gives me a clear message that that you guys are doing it the way that it's supposed to be, at the highest levels of power possible, and that's been a distinction of these particular missions as compared to the ones that I've directed in the past.
Minister of Culture, the Honorable Eric Evelyn, pledged his ministry's support.
All the persons who are involved in this project are very enthusiastic, working overtime to ensure that we reach our target of 2020 to have Nevis inscribed as a Charlestown inscribed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. I'm very confident that it will happen. The committee is very confident that it will happen, and I have to say that once again that the committee and all who are involved have the full support of my ministry and the full support of the Nevis Island administration. We are delighted once again to have you, and we are hoping that this visit will be a fruit, and we will see the fruits of the labor in 2020, and I'm hoping that we will have a massive celebration when the time comes.
Deputy Premier, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, as well as Minister of Physical Planning in the NIA, the Honorable Spencer Brand, Evelyn Henville, Chairperson of the Nevis World Heritage Site Committee, Dr. Everson Hull, Permanent Representative to the OAS, St. Kitts and Nevis's Official Representative to UNESCO's Executive Board, Antonio Maynard, and Christian Goodwillie, Director and Curator of Special Collections and Archives at Hamilton College, New York, were also part of the discussion, which was held at the NIA Conference Room at the St. Christopher and Nevis Social Security Board building at Pinnis. The Ministry of Social Development held a candlelight vigil on Friday, January 26th, with the hope of bringing a sense of solidarity to the community of Gingerland and the beginning of healing for the residents and families of the victims of recent violence there. Director of the Department of Social Services, Sandra Maynard, made the opening remarks.
We extend from our offices our deepest condolences to the families of Cleon Brown and Shirley Dawn Morton. We understand the deep emotional and psychological impact on our families and our communities. Tonight, however, we come together, government officials, government workers, religious leaders, area residents, children, church, youth, and women's groups to look to God, because God is our ultimate expert. We look to Him for guidance, for understanding, for love, for forgiveness, and most of all, for healing for the families and our island.
Constituency Representative for St. George's, the Honorable Eric Evelyn, called for support for the families.
And my heart is really grieving for the families tonight. And I want to tell the families that we, the rest of Nevis, with the rest of the community in Gingerland, we are here with you. And this is a very difficult time for you. And we're asking you to bind yourselves together. Reach out to each other. And I'm kindly asking the other community members who are here with us, whether you're here or the other parts of the island, please reach out to these families. It's a difficult time for them. Reach out in love. Reach out in humility, because they need our support. Let us go home. Let us continue to uphold these families in prayer. Let us continue to pray for Nevis. And of course, after the funerals are over on tomorrow and Monday, let us continue to bear the families up. Because a lot of the times, we support the families up to the time of the funeral. And then after the funeral, we forget them. We cannot do that.
The vigil also saw a session of prayer by pastors in the Gingerland area and a number of other tributes by residents of that community. Still to come,
please come in on the 1st, whether in St. Kitts or Nevis, and learn something about Social Security.
The details after this break. Welcome back. Tomorrow, Thursday, February 1st, 2018, the St. Christopher and Nevis Social Security Board will celebrate its 40th anniversary and is inviting its clients to participate in an open day at the offices in St. Kitts and Nevis. Public Relations Officer Walter Morton has the details.
And for open day, we will have our pension calculator for people who are over 50 and you zero in on that 62 years when you can get your pension. You can get an idea of what your pension can be like. We'll be doing our normal health checks with our nurses from the hospital and the medical students from St. Kitts, and they would be testing for diabetes and hypertension, and they'll also look at your weight. We'll also have general Social Security information, anything that you want to know about Social Security. In St. Kitts, we'll have a tattoo parlor, and we will giving away tokens as well. We'll have our tokens, and you can get some kind of refreshment at both offices. So come Thursday, open day all day from we open to close. It's an all-day event, and we're asking you to join us, whether in Nevis or in St. Kitts.
In celebration of Social Security's 40th anniversary, a year of activities has been planned. They include corporate worship on St. Kitts on February 4th, Children's Library Hour at the David E. Fox Memorial Library on St. Kitts on February 17th, and corporate worship at the Charlestown Methodist Church in Nevis on February 25th. Reform discussions and town hall meetings in the month of March, Pensioners Day in April, the Social Security Torch Run, Walk and Rally, and the primary schools quiz in May, CARICOM Heads of Social Security meeting, Human Resource Management and Regional Workshop, and an awards dinner in June. Self-employed celebrations in July, a debate competition for schools, and the launch of Social Security's 40th anniversary magazine in October.
Please come in on the 1st, whether in St. Kitts or Nevis, and learn something about Social Security. Remember, we are serving all. We keep looking up for your benefits. And the theme for the 40th anniversary is Celebrate with Us, Progressing Beyond 40, Resolving to Reach All. We want everybody to be a part of Social Security. Thank you very much, and do see you on Thursday at our open day in Nevis.
In celebration of its 10th anniversary, the Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School EPPS will this weekend host the Mr. and Miss EPPS show. The pageant will feature 6 contestants.
Because sports happens this term, we have centered that show around the 3 colors that we have at this school. We have red, green and gold. So the participants of this show, it's a pair in terms of a boy and a girl for each house. They will be teaming up to present a show to the public. There's a, the normal fanfare segment, there's a sporting segment, and talent, of course. That final segment is going to be a professional way where the students depict a specific profession that they would have chosen. There'll also be a question and answer segment. We have a packed sideshow. There are some nice little numbers that we are sourcing, so it's not gonna be just us.
I am 8 years old, Kayla Mendonca. And I am 8 years old, Jamal McDonald. And we are representing Red House. We are inviting you to come on out on the 3rd of February 2018 to rep Red. Don't be late, 7 p.m. sharp. I am 9 years old, Maisha Bantapur. And I am 8 years old, Anton Percival. And we are representing Go House. So come on out on the Saturday or 3rd of February 2018 at the Culture Village, 7 p.m. sharp, to rep Gold House. Shh! Can you hear it? Oh, it must be the Green Giants. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I am 8 years old, Shaquana Jones. And I am 8 years old, Deirdre Lewis. And we are representing Green Giants. Come on out, February the 3rd, 2018 at the Nevis Culture Complex, 7 p.m. sharp. To see us win the crowd. See you there. repping green.
Tickets for adults cost $20, for children 12 and older $15, and children younger than 12 $10. That's it for this edition of the Nevis Newscast. On behalf of all of us here at the Department of Information, I'm Frenicia Liburd. Thank you for viewing.